Happy Friday and welcome to the Weekender. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for your support. I really truly appreciate all the great comments, all the topics that are forwarded my way. We're going to really dive right into the Weekender this week. This weekend's topic is natural hazard disclosures and a wildfire defense for your home. I just found it fitting that we might do this topic because of all the fires that we have going on, and maybe this could be helpful to someone. This is a true story about a natural hazard disclosure. I like to kind of let everybody know how important it is to read this document. If you've bought a home in the last 20 years, you definitely came across this document. True story. We had bought our second house in 1996. Somehow I maneuvered us in on that Friday. We closed on that Friday. We moved in on that Friday. And Saturday morning, I kid you not, I woke up to F-16s flying around, doing maneuvers all around my house. I said, wait a second here. What is going on here? I marched right down to the sales office because they had only sold a handful in this gated community. And she said, well, unfortunately, Mr. Gaddison, you signed off on a disclosure. March Air Force Base is only a mile away. At that point, I knew if I got into real estate, I had to read every document. I highly, highly recommend that you read all your documents. Just to let you know, March Air Force Base closed that year. And so it was not a problem at all. But here are 4 things you want to look for when you're reading your natural hazard disclosure. Are you in a flood zone? Typically, it discloses had there been floods recently in your area. If you got a high water tide, it lets you know. Guerneville, for instance, if it floods every year, it discloses that in the natural hazard disclosure. Another thing is if you live on an earthquake fault line. I typically know a lot about that one because we live right on the Hayward Fault. I had my house engineered once we did the expansion to compensate for being on the fault line. Another thing is it lets you know airport proximities, and it also lets you know military bases, how close they are. Again, and then probably the most important thing is wildfire zones. If you're in a wildfire zone, typically in California, we have quite a few on a foothills. If you got a view up in the hills, like I say, you got vegetation growing, and you've had wildfires over the years. Typically, like areas like Riverside in the Inland Empire, Napa, Oakland Hills. These are areas that have been designated because they've had wildfires over the years as a fire zone. And here goes some tips. If you are in a fire zone, or if you're just in a lower line and you see on the hillside, it's a little dry. These are some things that you could do to help you prevent some of those ambers if it does catch on fire. You can remove the debris, vegetation that's around your house. Make sure, if it's a hillside, okay, it may not be yours, but you might want to clear a space around it. Another thing you want to do is keep your gutters clean of leaves and stuff, because when those ambers get to jumping, one thing they're going to jump on is those, leaves in the gutters and so forth. So make sure that the gutters in the outdoor spaces are free of debris. Another thing you might want to think about too, now people don't think about this, but your window screens and the attic gutters, vents around the house, make sure that those are clean because they build up dust and stuff again, where you can get an amber or something. And one thing I fall fault to here all the time is we collect firewood this time of the year because we burn a lot of firewood during the winter. You should have it 30 feet away from your house. These are just little quick tips that you might want to consider. Like I said, I can't stress how important it is that you make sure that you read that natural hazard disclosure. Again, we got a wonderful weekend of sports. I hope everybody's been tuning in to the NBA playoffs. Baseball is on. We got the golf FedEx going on, and hopefully we're going to open up and we're going to have some concerts. There are some churches that are doing what they call drive-in churches. And so, again, I hope everybody's out there practicing their social distancing so really we can really be over with this virus. Again, thank you for tuning in. You can always get this information at sgaddisonrealtor.com. And trust me, if there's any questions you have, feel free to email me. Again, if you want to click on the subscription now that we're completely on YouTube, feel free to subscribe. We do have some up-and-coming listings that are coming up. Stay tuned to my email that you receive for the new information on new listings. Again, thank you for your time, and it's truly, truly appreciated.